Danny Segura for MMA Junkie here in South Florida. I'm standing next to boxing royalty here, Claressa Shields, who is ready to compete in her second MMA fight at the PFL Championship Finals here on October 27th. First of all, Claressa, we're 4 weeks out. How has this training camp been going as you prepare for your second fight?
It's been going very well. It's been a different kind of training camp, a lot more. Uh, it's been like some competitive sparring, more learning curves, just still back on the ground again, doing the ground stuff, and just learning some more punch and kick combinations. But it's been good so far.
You had told me that the jiu-jitsu was the toughest part about learning. Is it getting a little easier now?
It's getting a lot easier. I think when you first start, well, a boxer, and then they tell you that, jujitsu is just fighting on the ground. And then you get on the ground, you're like, okay, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to avoid? What's offense? What's defense? That was the confusing part. But after doing it for, what has been 9 months now, and then having my MMA fight, I learned a lot, and I seen that my training is like really paying off.
And this camp you did at Jackson Wink, how did you?
Yeah, Jackson Wink,
100%?
100%, yes.
Nice. And this fight with Abigail Montes, I just spoke to her, and she said that she believes that you sort of haven't fully transitioned your boxing skills, or at least from what she saw in your debut, to MMA. That you haven't really adapted the striking to MMA. What do you make of that? And do you feel like you've carried over your boxing skills and adapted them to MMA well?
I don't give a damn what Abigail talking about. I don't care about what Abigail talking about. What the hell? I would say that she can watch as much film as she wants. If she judged me off that first MMA fight, she's in big trouble because they're two different fighters. Um, Elkin game plan was to just fake me with kicks and take me down and hold me on the ground, never to try to do anything. But I'm way I'm just as scrappy as I was in the third round. I could have been that scrappy in the first and the second round if I wouldn't have been taken down and held there. Now that I know that how to get out of those positions and know how to get up and I know how to go for takedowns myself and just I've just added so many more things to my arsenal from just last camp, and we still got a month to go. Like right now, um, I definitely took my power over to MMA. I definitely took my speed to MMA, and if I don't do anything else, Abigail can bet her ass off that I'm gonna punch the shit out of her. That's for sure. She ain't got to worry about that.
And she said she's down to stand and trade with you. She comes from Mexico, from a gym that in MMA is known
Stupido,
for.
stupido. But
You
that's
think that's
okay.
a You think that's a stupid idea?
It's stupid, but guess what? That's okay. Come out there and try your luck. Listen, try your luck because it's MMA. I'm not thinking about just standing up. I don't have nothing to prove to her with standing up. I don't got nothing to prove with her on the ground. All I have to do is come out there and fight. But she can have that mindset of coming out there and standing up with me. She's gonna find out that I hit harder than anybody she's ever been hit by, and that these legs are and these little bitty old fists is very very hard hitting. But
And have you done any scouting on her? Have you seen her fight?
I look at every opponent, do lots of homework. I look up interviews and see what they said in previous interviews. I look up their upbringing and everything if they have it on there. Um, Abigail, I want to say the wrong stuff.
Oh, come on, you can tell us.
I'm gonna fuck her face up. I really am. I've seen a lot of her fights. She's very protective of her face. She doesn't like to get marks and bruises, and I don't really care for that. Like, long as I win, the marks and the bruises gonna heal. But I'm definitely probably gonna black her eye, red her cheek, bruise her rib. I'm gonna hurt her, and she may rethink doing MMA after me and her get done.
And outside of the matchup, I also want to ask you about some of the things said at the presser. Somebody mentioned if you would ever fight on the undercard of Jake Paul, and you took that as offense, and you got quite passionate about that. What exactly pissed you off or ticked you off about that question?
Cause who the fuck is Jake Paul compared to me in boxing? Nothing. I respect everything that Jake Paul is doing, like him bringing his YouTube fans and everything, and him building a platform for YouTubers to have exhibitions and stuff like that. Listen, I respect it, but don't disrespect me as far as in my skills. Asking me would I be happy to fight on the undercard of him because he's bringing exposure? Please, no. He should be even honored to be on the same card as me. He fight the undercard of me. I'm the one with 2 Olympic gold medals. Can Jake Paul go to the Olympics? Can Jake Paul beat 3 different world champions at three different weight classes? Can he be undisputed champion at any weight? No. So why would I gotta fight on the undercard of him because he's a man and he's a popular YouTuber? Hell no. Never in my life. I don't care how much money they offer. I'm not fighting on the undercard of damn Jake Paul.
So it's more of a thing like because we hear that he's been giving all these other boxers a lot more money than they would fight in than they would make in other cards. You wouldn't even entertain the idea, no matter how much money is off.
Amanda Serrano fought for 75,000. My last purse when I fought with Showtime was for 350K. Where's the justice? And Amanda Serrano is a 7-time division world champion, 40-0 with 32 knockouts. Like 75,000, and how much did Tyron Woodley get paid, and how much did Jake Paul get paid?
With 2 million each, just.
But she gets 70. But she gets 75,000. Come on now, like that's not even nowhere near fair. Look, I understand, and I love what he's trying to do for speaking on women's boxing or for speaking on boxing, whatever he's trying to do. Look, I respect it, but no woman should have to fight on the undercard of somebody she's more accomplished in. And if they want to do that, go ahead. But me, I've always said I only want to fight on the undercard, co-main event of unified, undisputed, very good world champions, because it's a big platform and I can get more fans from that. But I'm just not. No, that's just not it.
Do you think he's good or bad for the sport? A lot of people argue that.
Oh, it's not really my business if he's good or bad for the sport. Look, he's doing what he want to do. He's bringing fans and stuff, and he's very entertaining. He's funny, And I actually at first I'm like, I don't like to do that at all. But over the past few months, I'm like, what this dude is? Yeah, it's like, what? He's stupid, but he's funny. He's funny. Like, he do some stuff that I'm like, man, he just so immature. Like when he took off Floyd's hat and all this stuff, like he's so immature. But he's funny. I think he's entertaining for the sport of boxing. And if this is what boxing needs to stay alive, then hey, that's what it needs. But I think in general that women fighters should be treated better in boxing.
Yeah, certainly. And do you feel like you've found sort of that a little bit more of the love and respect here in MMA? Because obviously women's MMA is fairly big. I mean, it's pretty big, especially compared to when you compare it to like women's boxing, right?
Yeah. MMA and women's MMA is way bigger than women's boxing. I don't know why, because women's boxing has been around way longer. And I feel like we had a better skilled fighters when it comes to standing up. But I feel like the women get more respect because they fight the same time as the men. And the people at the top, Dana White, Peter Murray, all these different organizations, they give women a platform, right? And they build the women up. And then now women are being the main event. And guys are being the undercard of the women because the women has more fans than the men. So, and they're entertaining and they're tough fighters. I think that in boxing, women has never been given the opportunity to be on the forefront, to be pay-per-view, to, just having those opportunities to even fight on the co-main event of a big card, to grow our brands and stuff. Like, we have to do stuff outside of boxing to grow our brand. And the men don't have to do that.
Do you feel like boxing can learn a lot from MMA in that aspect? Because, I mean, I think it's pretty easy to say that the two biggest fights on this PFL Championship final is your fight and Kayla Harrison's.
We're the most known fighters on the card, yes.
So it's not like a thing that women can't sell as far as, the boxing stuff.
It's sexist for people to even say that without giving us the opportunity. That's the thing. Like, look, start giving women the opportunity, start getting the numbers, and if women don't sell, whatever, if they don't sell, do your job. Promote the fights. You know what I mean? Like, build the story. Have the girls push each other at weigh-ins and shit. Like, do your job. That's what you're supposed to do. But they feel like in women's boxing that's impossible. But it's like, how's it impossible if women in MMA are doing it? Like, I think it's just the guys at the top who don't want to cut the checks. They're just saying, they're saying all this stuff to save money. Like, no, women can't do this. We're not going to do that. Or that's going to take us money. Or that's going to lose us money when it's not. Yes,
No,
correct.
I'm with you certainly, and yeah, it's funny. Do you think if MMA wasn't women's MMA wasn't as big as or much bigger than women's boxing, do you feel like you wouldn't have switched over?
I feel like I wouldn't have switched over if I could become a household name in boxing. I felt like I done everything I could do in boxing to be that household name, to get that $1 million check. And even though all my accomplishments are still like, still not enough, and that kind of would, just piss me off in general. But I decided, instead of just retiring from boxing and saying F the sport, it was like, I'm going to keep defending my titles in boxing, but I'm going to use my youth, being the age of 26, and see what I can do by the age of 32. See if I can become MMA champion and, dedicate myself to this and become a household name. And I've already become a household name within just the past few months off of one MMA fight. So I really should start doing MMA way, way sooner than I'll be, more and more known. But it's like in boxing, you can only get so far and so much notoriety, but in MMA, it's limitless.
And lastly, something I wanted to get your thoughts on, and feel free if you don't feel comfortable talking about this. But John Jones recently got in trouble. I know he offered you a lot of support in the past. And a lot of people are just concerned for his well-being and want him to get help as well as just for the people around him. Um, I don't know if you have any thoughts. You've obviously spent time with him, trained with him at Jackson Wink. I don't know if you have any comments on that situation.
What you asking me?
Just like if you feel like John Jones maybe should get some help or something for the sake of the people, for himself and for the people around him, because he's gotten in trouble multiple times now. This is not the first time.
I'm just really just praying for Johnny Bones. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there, and I've seen the articles, and as bad as they sound and everything, I I'm not defending John by any point, because I don't know what happened, but he's never um, seemed aggressive to me, and he's trained with me, and he's when we spend sessions together training and rolling, and him showing me different things and explaining different things to me. I just think that you know everybody goes through their own stuff, and I just think that too bad for him that he's a superstar, right? Because it's plastered all over the TV, and before the story gets put out, well, before you go to court, you're already guilty, type of deal. So I would just say, I just want to, just pray for John and pray for his family and his kids, and just he got good people around him who can tell him what to do. I'm just gonna keep him in my prayers, but I don't really have I don't really have nothing to say about it. Just pray for people instead of judge people, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm certainly not asking you to speak for him or sort of
No, because
any of that. Yeah.
I haven't even talked to him. I reached out and told him, hey, praying for you, buddy. Hope things get better. Praying for you and your family. But that's it. He's been really like to himself and everything, and I haven't talked to him or seen him. So I just wish him the best and wish his family the best, and hope everything turns out all right for everybody.
Yeah, certainly, no doubt. All right, Clarissa, well, I appreciate the time. Thank you so much. Looking forward to your fight October 27th at the PFL Championship
I would
Finals.
kick my heels. This camera not down there, but I would.
By the way, you brushing up your Spanish? You said you watch a lot of the interviews and a lot of the stuff on her. She speaks Spanish, not much English. You have any Spanish on
I got my translator app.
you? Okay, fair enough. All right, Clarissa.
That's
Either.
how I know what stupid means. Stupido. Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. All right, Clarissa. Appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.